So how's it going, you guys? I wanted to go and show you my current phone that I've had since its release date on September 9th, if I remember right. The iPhone 6s Plus. This right here is the silver version, 128 gigabyte 6s Plus version. I bought it with their upgrade program or whatever, so I pay like 30 odd dollars, well 20 something odd dollars a month if I remember right. But I've had the phone for over 6 months, I believe. If I remember right, yeah, it's been over 6 months. It's been over 6 months since I've gotten this phone. I've really not had a problem with it. I've ran from the original iOS 9.0 to the 9.3.1, which it is on currently, and I haven't had a problem yet. The only thing I've ever had a problem with is the charger. The charging cable is crap. What's the difference? It's an iPhone. What's crappy about it? The charging system it's usually crap when it comes with the phone. So I just gotta get a new cable and hopefully a much better one. So I'll try and get a link to one of those in the description, I guess, like one of the monoprice ones or something similar to that in quality. So I want to kind of first start off with the looks. When I first see this phone, it looks just like a 6. Obviously, it's a 6 Plus basically. When you look at it, but it is a little bit thicker. The phone is a little thicker. They did use a different alloy for it. They didn't use the same aluminum type that they did with the 6 Plus, since it was prone to bending. When they used the actual aluminum that they had on the Apple Watches now, the 3000 series, if I remember right. They use it on this, and it's much sturdier. It's able to take a lot more weight before it does any bending, but it still does have that very nice aluminum back and curve around, and the curved glass on it, and the nice little home button and all that. But on this phone, they've upgraded quite a few different things, as you guys probably haven't known. It runs a bit faster on the internet and such. Obviously, it's upgraded some of the wireless bands that are on it, as you can see. Yeah, you can see those right there, whatever the bands on them. And the camera is definitely a big upgrade. The camera was definitely an upgrade. It's been waiting to happen because it's pretty much had the same exact camera in essence since the iPhone 4S when they released it back in like 2010 or whatever. Well, with the 4, when they released it in 2010 with the 8 megapixel camera. So the only thing they've been doing is just kind of tweaking it slightly. But this camera that this phone has now is a 12 megapixel camera. This is capable of 4K at 30 FPS, 1080p, 60 FPS, 720p, 30, and all that different fun stuff, like any other pretty much phone that's able to do 4K is able to do. That is more recent. Still use a mini, or whatever it is, the Nano SIM, or whatever it is, in the phone. It does not have an upgradable storage slot yet. Hopefully they'll have that in some sort of future iteration. It does come with a upgraded, well, it doesn't really come with an upgraded display, but the glass over the display is much stronger. It's dual ionized, if I remember right, is what they said. It's dual ionized, it's much stronger. I've seen it go hand to hand with the, with the Droid Turbo 2 lately, and this thing's kept up with it. I mean, it shatters still. And the Turbo may not shatter because it's like a plasticky sort of design, but this feels very good in the hands. I like it. It's a little slippy though. That's the only thing I don't like about the aluminum, is it will slip pretty easily without you really looking and paying attention. It may slip out of your hand if you don't have a case. It does have the sapphire covering for the camera and the home button on there, so those are both pretty resistant to cracking. It does still have the dual tone flash. It's got the microphone on the back. I believe that's the microphone. That's the microphone, or it's a focus mechanism of some sort. The difference between this and the 6 Plus, the 6S Plus and the 6 Plus is mainly in the, when you look at the back of it, the main difference you can tell physically looking at it is it'll say iPhone S or whatever. Meaning it's an iPhone 6s Plus or whatever, a 6s. But internally, but let me go back to the camera. So the front camera, if I remember right, should be a 2 megapixel. If I remember, I'm pretty sure it's 2.1 megapixel. I know they've upgraded the front camera to be able to do more detail and such. It does have a flash of some sort. It does include 3D touch, which is something that a lot of people really have been wanting. I don't know why sometimes, but I have found myself using it since I've purchased the phone, especially as apps have used it more and more, especially like Instagram and Twitter and such, because I can be going around and then I'm just going to tap it harder, and then I'm going to pop up a thing, I'm going to read through it real quick, I'm going to pop up another one, read through it real quick, and just keep doing that rather than popping it up and then going across and all that different stuff and making it a lot longer of a process. They upgraded the feedback that this phone is able to give. It's taptic or whatever. I like the feel that it has, especially at certain points. It does feel very good. Sometimes, especially when you're going to have it set up so it'll vibrate when you're typing. It's pretty nice to have. The keyboard's been upgraded a little bit. They've added new emojis, obviously, since some of the newer updates, and that's obviously on all the iPhones. It still rocks a 5.5 inch 1920 by 1080p screen. Pretty sure it's like 390 odd pixels per inch, something like that. I haven't really read up too much lately, but I used to remember all this stuff. This is just the white silver model. Like I said, it does have a upgraded Touch ID sensor, which I will show you real quick. So I got my phone on, I tapped it and it unlocked. So I mean, it's way faster, but I'm gonna go and get this out. It does glitch out sometimes and doesn't want to work. It's a bit glitchy, but I think on the next iPhone they'll be able to fix it very easily without much trouble at all. Battery wise, so here has a bigger battery than the 6 Plus. It lasts a bit longer, which I think is mainly in part because of the camera being bigger, and they've just kind of gotten down, they can fit a bigger battery in there as technology has advanced. This thing still does get through about a half a day, usually before it needs a charge. It'll usually be about 50% by half day. It usually lasts about a day of typical high schooler use like me. So that's on and off on the web and different stuff like that, texting and social media and stuff like that. You know, it's different things. The display is still IPS. Like I said, 3D touch. The processors that are in it is the A9, and then it's got the M9 motion co-processor or whatever. Both are very fast. Both help very much when you're playing games, when you're playing like a gyro sort of game or whatever. You know, you're going like this and different stuff like that. You know, it works very well as opposed to what the 6 Plus was able to do, as the M9 has upgraded. The camera is very good. Usually I have used it to record before, but that was the front camera basically. Until I did the review for this camera, I did use the rear. It says it's able to do 4K and 60 FPS 1080p. The phone, the interface is pretty much the same as iOS 8 basically. Well, it's obviously iOS 9. A lot of people who probably have an iPhone have iOS 9. It does have a few updates, especially when it comes to like news and different things like that. Some new apps. So let me show you what 3D touch is. So let me see if I can get this to focus on here. Let's see. Maybe. You can see it somewhat, but if I put my finger on there hard enough, it will pop up the little menu on there, which is the 3D touch menu. The focus. The phone does operate pretty well 3D touch. 3D touch is a very nice little feature. You don't always notice it, like I said. But it is useful once you get using the phone. What else? They got live photos, which is kind of like a GIF is what I'd call it. It just has like a few little frames it captures and it goes and it plays it for a picture, you know. Upgraded slow-mo, it's able to do 240 FPS, 720p. What else have they added? The panorama is a bit better. Quite a few different things have improved camera-wise. The camera is way better. Battery-wise, it's much better in a lot of ways. Performance-wise, a lot better. I don't really feel this phone really ever get hot unless I'm charging and playing a game. Speaker's not the worst, but it's not the absolute greatest, but I'm able to watch videos and such from it. Still has a standard 3.5mm audio jack on the phone. And then it still uses the lightning port, which a lot of people are hoping for USB-C. Hopefully the next iPhone may have a USB-C. I mean, there's not too much else I can say. I mean, other than the interface is very nice. 3D Touch is very good. There's a lot of different points about this phone that I do like that mainly kind of made me choose it over a Galaxy Note 5. I was going to get a Galaxy Note 5, but I chose against it to give Apple another try, especially when I could get their newest flagship model phone, as opposed to the phone that I did have, which was a 4S, when I got a phone like 3 years ago. I had it like 3 years ago, I think, or whatever, and it sucked. After a little while, it kind of sucked. Screen was a little tiny thing. I think it was tiny. They did release an iPhone SE also. I also did a look at that on one of my other videos, which is the March 21st Apple keynote event or whatever. That right there was one of the videos that I kind of made recently, the past week or few weeks. And it's just me going over some of the new stuff with the latest sort of keynote that Apple has done. So I mean, I really just have to, I guess, go. I mean, I'd love to tell you guys all kinds of more stuff. If you got any questions, make sure to go and say them in the comments. There's no such thing as a stupid question unless you're stupid. But I'm not going to say that. A lot of stupid questions are not possible. So, thank you guys for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. See you tomorrow.